Welcome to this special COROS event with Kilian Jornet and Lewis Wu. My name is Floris Geerman and I'm going to be your host here today. I'm also the host of the Extra Milist podcast and YouTube show, and I've interviewed several different COROS athletes over the years, such as Kilian Jornet, Eliud Kipchoge, and Sally McRae. We often talk about ways to become a stronger, healthier, and happier athlete. I'm also a running coach of the Personal Best program, and I really enjoy running in the mountains, on the trails, and on the road. And today, in the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to be joined by Kilian Jornet and by Lewis Wu. And we have several exciting things on the agenda over here. We're going to start out with a recap of 2022 Kilian's training, and he's going to share some of his exciting expedition plans and race plans for 2023. We're going to go through a special limited edition collab product by COROS and Kilian. From there on, we're going to discuss an opportunity to be coached by Coach Kilian. And we're going to take a deep dive into Kilian's training data with the COROS Training Hub, so some behind the scene footage. Kilian always shares a lot of great insights for different athletes looking to improve, and there will be a lot of nuggets over here today in this conversation. We are going to also highlight a few different questions that have been submitted by the COROS community in the Facebook group, so it becomes really like an interactive way that we can highlight different feedback from the community over there. I would like to start out by introducing my friend Lewis Wu. He is the co-founder of COROS. Lewis really enjoys a variety of different sports, from running, climbing, skiing, cycling, like a lot of different sports going on there. And it's been exciting to see what they have been able to do, Lewis and his team with COROS over the years. Like, the brand has grown a lot, the product has developed significantly with a lot of innovative initiatives, and the team, it's a world-class team of athletes from around the world. Lewis, excited to have you here. How's your morning going so far?
Thank you, Floris. Beautiful morning. I had a quick run. That has been a routine for me for any COROS event. I think an hour run is better than 2 shots of espresso, so excited to be here to share something very exciting for the community.
Absolutely. Also, I would like to introduce Kilian Jornet. He doesn't really need an introduction, and still I'll keep it short, high level over here. Kilian is the greatest mountain and ultra endurance athlete of all time. He enjoys long distance trail running and ski mountaineering. He has won several of the most prestigious ultra-endurance events, including Hard Rock, UTMB, and Western States. Kilian is also the founder of the Kilian Jornet Foundation. He's the host of the Athlete Climate Academy podcast and the co-founder of Normal Footwear and Apparel. Kilian and I have recorded 2 full-length episodes of the Extra Milist show, and I really enjoy our conversations and all of the insights that he shares. Kilian, welcome to the show over here. Very excited to have you here.
Hi, Floris, Lewis, and everyone. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and so excited for the news that they are coming.
For sure. Let's talk high level about 2022, because looking at some of your training data, you trained in total for about 900 hours, and that's broken down in a variety of different terrains that you trained at. We saw you were active in the mountains, on the trails, on the road, on the treadmill, and with skiing too. Can you walk us through the year 2022 with your training, with some of your racing that year too?
Yes, 2022 was an incredible year for me. Besides, it was when we first started working together. I met actually Lewis here 1 year ago in the mountains home. We had a nice skiing day, and the season for me, the goal was to be able to compete on high level, both in long distance races and in short distance races. So I was doing Hard Rock, UTMB in the long distance, and Segama and Original in the short. And the challenge here, it was to be able to perform in something that you need to have a very big endurance base and the muscles broken for like 100 miles, but at the same time be able to perform on races where you need to be very quick and fast. And the training for both are quite different. So my idea was to try to do all the mileage, all the distance that I need to do for adapting both my metabolism, but also my muscles for the long distance. But not do that over long sessions, over long days, but to try to do a lot of kilometers in a lot of small sessions, so I could also train for the short distance and to have good recovery. And it worked well. It was very interesting, all what I learned, also about nutrition, about how to test myself on training. And then I think it's been a great year on the performance, but I have been learning a lot on how I can train much better too.
There you go. Train smarter, not always harder. This constant evolution there. Good. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of your 2023 plans? Because I heard some rumors of some expeditions that you're planning. Tell us more how you're going to prepare for these and what are some of the details of your 2023 plans?
So yeah, 2023 is here. I am training right now for the season coming, and it will be a different season from last year. After a couple of years, I want to go back to the Himalayas, and actually the plan it's a bit different than other years. It's mostly we will go there with the family, and just to be prepared and to be acclimatized to do anything that the conditions allows us. So I have different goals and different ideas, but the plan is to be there prepared, and depending how the weather, how conditions are in one place or another, to jump to one or another idea. And then when coming back from the Himalayas, probably in June, July, to do a big preparation for the trail running, because I still want to do some races in the end of the summer. And something short, something long, I will see how I come back from Himalaya and see what I can do, but hopefully to try to get back on speed after a long expedition.
That's quite a variety over there, from the high altitude and then going towards the other races. How about UTMB? Are you planning on UTMB in 2023?
So right now, first I would need to qualify. I need to do some race to do the points to do the race. So I don't know if I will be able to do it because I will be in expedition. But I will see if I can do that. It's always a race which is very competitive, and I plan to be racing mostly in Europe because the travel will be to Himalaya. So I will see how it develops everything after the expedition.
There you go. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. We're going to come back to some of your training data. We're going to share several different screenshots from the COROS training hub. And this is a behind the scenes look of Kilian's training. We'll come back to that in about 15 to 20 minutes. But for now, I want to ask Lewis, can you give us a high level update from COROS perspective on 2022?
Yeah, sure. Like Kilian just mentioned, the year started really strong with one of the most exciting announcements that's in COROS history. We invited Kilian to be part of the COROS team. And Kilian is more than an incredible athlete. Aside from his mind-blowing athletic performance, he's just so knowledgeable and experienced in training and sports science, sport technology. So we're fortunate to have him often be part of the roadmap planning and discussion. And he's constantly taking our products out on the field during his training and giving us feedback. So it's been incredible. And then looking at this entire year, we've launched, I just did a count last night, 8 software updates throughout the year. Some of them are extremely important. For example, the effort pace has set a new foundation of entire COROS ecosystem, or COROS sports science ecosystem. And we've launched several other new sports modes, such as the indoor climbing mode, the jump rope mode, and the RPE recording during your training or after your training, and the REM sleep tracking, etc., along with a lot of other optimizations. So the products are getting better. And then near the end of last year, we launched 3 important hardware, the Pod 2, the Apex 2, and Apex 2 Pro, which received a very good feedback from the community. Yeah, as a brand, we also share a lot of inspiring stories. I don't know if you still remember the Tim Thompson film, What Goes On Set, has it's the most watched video on COROS YouTube channel.
That was a really cool video. Like, I think it already had more than 100,000 views on your YouTube channel at this point. And just seeing how Tim was openly sharing about his feelings and experiences and some of the challenges that he experienced too was a really good piece.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then our athlete team has some really great historical performance. Like Ali Kipchoge broke his marathon world record again in Berlin Marathon. And we just talked about Kilian's performance over at Hard Rock. We were just there the day before, right?
That was really cool. We're until 7:30 in Kilian's Airbnb. We're recording, having long conversations, having a lot of fun. But then Kilian had to literally go to bed, woke up the next morning, and ended up winning the race.
I was worried about us putting too much stuff on him like the day before the race while his competitor was resting nicely. He just showed up winning the race and broke the course record.
Yeah, that was a big
like his UTMB win and sub 20 hour is a huge historic moment for us as well. And then just a couple of weeks ago we launched a small campaign with the story of Tommy Cotware as another COROS athlete. As a professional climber, Tommy lost one of his fingers in his early career, which could be the end of the career nightmare for any climber. Like, you don't have 10 fingers anymore. But Tommy was able to overcome this huge challenge and eventually become an even stronger climber, achieving a lot of first ascents and free climbs in the world. So we took this chance. It's actually this mug in front of us. I don't know if you can see this. It has a handprint of Tommy's hand with only 4 fingers, and it's called Pain is Progress. I think this is 100% match for what COROS is trying to achieve and what we encourage the COROS community to achieve. It's discomfort is temporary, but the long-term achievement when you go through the pain is something that will help you to enjoy the life for the whole time. So
those are solid wins there, from athlete accomplishments, from product development, and from software updates as well. What about some of the challenges that you guys have experienced across the way?
A lot of challenges. For sure, as a growing brand, there are things we have to do a great job. There are competitors, there's whole market changes. But I would say the biggest challenge of last year is the expectation, right? Consumers are no longer seeing COROS as a startup company doing things here and there. They have really high expectation on us right now. They're comparing us to some of the best companies in the world. They want great product. They want us deliver products at a faster pace. They want a solid experience. They want seamless connection in all these performance things. So it's a challenge. And then that puts a lot of pressure on us, and we're going to make it. We have very ambitious goals for 2023 for both hardware and software. And the product testing has been an important piece of our product development plan. We actually are fortunate enough to work with a lot of COROS users in the community, including the athletes, that we give them access to a product launch, and they test it, they let us know how they feel, and then we improve it before the final product delivery. So I guess it's a time to do this product testing in a larger scale and in a more formal way. So I'd like to take the chance to introduce a brand new program called COROS Product Testing Program. This is live now on coros.com/testing. Again, coros.com/testing, where if you are passionate COROS owners right now, you would like to get early access to the products that we're offering, and then you would like to help the community and help us to build better products, please go to the link and apply it. There are several questions that you have to fill up, and our team will review it, and hopefully they'll approve it. I can't wait to present some very exciting new product softwares, just in a couple of weeks. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that product feedback, that dialogue with the community is super powerful right there. Talking about community feedback, let's go through a few of the different questions that were submitted in the Facebook group, and some of these apply to Kilian too. Starting out with the first one here. Kilian, what are some of the watch settings that you have on your display, both in training and in racing? Can you walk us through that?
Yes, so they will be pretty different actually, because when I train, I want to have most of the data that is available to see if I'm really training what I wanted to train, how I wanted to train. And that will be from the more basics, let's say like time, distance, elevation to calculate the velocity. Also the elevation gain, the descent gain, but also some more features about speed, so the pace, but also the effort pace, which is one of my favorite data points there. And also all the metabolic data, so like heart rate, the core temperature, and I can watch some things during the session, like the oxygen saturation, for example, if I'm doing something in altitude, or the cadence to see if I'm working more on the neuromuscular side. But then when it goes to racing, I try to have the minimum data possible so I can just concentrate on what matters. And there I will use mostly only time, distance, and the elevation. And then I might have either the pace or the heart rate or the effort pace to know if I'm on the zone, especially in the ultra races.
Yeah, definitely. Keep it simple on a race day over there. I can understand that part. Another question that was submitted by the audience is, what is the most underrated trainable aspect that everyone should pay attention to, but that not that many people look at?
Well, I would say that in general, we put a lot of attention into those big sessions or these very like the hero weekend where like we want to train a lot and do all the effort there. And then to forget about training is not about making big efforts and then being destroyed for a week, but it's about consistency. So I would say it's like find what you are able to do sustainably. So like what you feel that you can do week after week after week, and that will give you much more improvement than having like a huge week or weekend of training if you are not able to sustain that. And then when it comes to the training itself, I would say that we focus a lot into the metabolical work, so like the hours, the distance and all that. But it's other things that we need to see when we are training. It can be how we breathe, the technical aspects of the race, all the strategy when it's coming to a project, or also like how all the neuromuscular aspect of running uphill, running downhill, or on the flat. So it's not only thinking about, okay, I need to do 2 hours this speed, but thinking about how we are running, how we are pacing ourselves, how we are eating, how we are hydrating ourselves during the training. So all around the metabolic side, it's also very important.
Great points there. Everything is connected. I want to come back to you in a little bit, Kilian, with several more questions that were submitted by the audience. For now, let's go over to Lewis and talk specifically about products, because there's some exciting updates here. Unique, exclusive, one of a kind. Tell us more.
This is our topic today, our main topic today. Here we go. I have it here on the table. This is the COROS Apex 2 Pro Kilian Jornet edition. It's limited to 5,000 productions globally. And then before I open this one and then bring the total number down to 4,999, Kilian has another one on his wrist. I like to sit back and then watch a quick video one more time to learn more about what this watch is.
4 years ago, our Apex watches set the standard for those who want to move fast, light, and go far outdoors. Now, it's time for the all-new COROS Apex 2 and Apex 2 Pro. Built from titanium and sapphire glass, they're made to withstand the toughest environments and be easy to operate even with thick gloves. A completely redesigned GPS antenna provides access to all 5 satellite systems, with a 50% increase in performance. And Apex 2 Pro receives dual frequency GPS for reduced signal reflection. Ample storage for offline maps, advanced navigation features, and our new app-based route planner means there's no getting lost. But where you go is about how well you perform, and the COROS training system is stronger than ever. Improved running level system, race predictor, effort pace, and recovery timer are all designed to get you to your fitness goals and beyond. All of these features rely on precise data, made possible by our next-generation optical heart rate sensor, measuring aerobic activity more accurately than any COROS watch before, and tracks blood oxygen and HRV levels when you need them most. For even more accurate metrics and low GPS signal situations, pairing with the COROS Pod 2 generates reliable data directly from your foot movement. And the powerful, free, and easy-to-use tools in the COROS Training Hub will help take your training to the next level. Both watches now support Bluetooth audio for music and come in a range of fresh new colors, with our durable, lightweight nylon band as standard. With significantly increased battery life, Apex 2 now delivers 45 hours of full GPS operation and an incredible 75 hours for Apex 2 Pro. Explore perfection and discover your potential with the all-new Apex 2 and Apex 2 Pro.
Kilian, can you explain a little bit more? What has your experience been with the COROS Apex 2 Pro?
So actually, I have been using the COROS Apex Pro for 1 year, and I was amazed, especially for the precision of the data when it comes to the distance, the elevation, the GPS position. When you are in the mountains, it's not only about like having precision for training, but it's also for safety. And I was pretty amazed on that, and especially the battery was like unbelievable. It was so good. But now with the Apex 2, it's just another level, the precision of the data, like especially the heart rate optical, it's just much better. Also that it's able to measure the HRV. So I think that it just takes everything that was very good on the Apex Pro and adding this extra layer of precision, especially when it comes to metabolical data, which it makes it perfect for more precision training. And also like just the battery, it's getting better, which it's just crazy. I cannot believe it.
Sometimes I even forget to charge it because it's been so many weeks in between, and that it's.
Oh yeah, true. We ended up setting a lot of charging cables in addition to that.
Lewis, can you walk us through the unboxing experience here?
Oh, I'd love to. So here we go. I have an already opened KJ watch, and then to save this for our consumers, let's take a look. What's inside? Yeah, so out of the box, here's a KJ watch. There are 2 watch bands come with this packaging. One with this traditional silicone band, 2 colors, and another one is the nylon band. And here's the watch with a unique watch base. So we like the nylon band not only because it's lighter, but it's so much easier to use. It wraps around the wrist a lot more comfortably, not too tight, not too loose. And it helps the heart rate accuracy because you want it to be tight so it doesn't bounce around, but you also don't want to be too tight to block your blood flow. So I have it on right now. Here we go. And here's a watch. Here is the band. And underneath this watch, there's a hat from our friend at Normal. And then Normal is Kilian's shoes and apparel brand. I'm sure he will be able to talk about this brand a lot better than I do. But we enjoy working with Normal to present you with this unique product because this is the race hat. It's marketed at $40 on Normal's website, but it's a unique one. Look, there's a Kilian Jornet limited edition. I don't think you can purchase this from the Normal website. I'm gonna put this on for the rest of this event. Here we go.
There you go. Looking sharp, Lewis.
Yeah, thanks. And now here are the charging cables, the user's guide, etc., etc. This watch comes with a retail price of $549. It's $50 more expensive than the regular version, but it has a lot additional values in it. And then the biggest value is yet to come. We're gonna touch that in a second. This watch is available now at COROS.com/Kilian. Again, COROS.com/Kilian. If you place order now, it's gonna be ready to ship immediately.
That's a lot of value right there. So you got the watch, the two watch bands, and the normal hat too. Kilian, would love to hear a little bit more information from your end about the thought process behind the colors that you use, the fonts on the display, and the actual normal cap as well.
So the colors of the watch are actually inspired on the mountains around here in Romsdal in Norway. You can see that it's white and black. It's white from the snow. We have long winters here. And then the mountains are very old and broken rock that it's very dark. It's almost black. And it's this contrast of the pristine snow and the very hard rock that it makes these colors, this contrast. And it's also like how training it is. It's sometimes it's very fun and enjoyable and very light. And sometimes it's hard that you just need to put yourself into the mind and go for it. So that's the contrast of the black and white, but it also have a functionality because we wanted to have, like, for example, the band on a dark color on black because it's a place that often gets very dirty when you are running in the outdoors. So it's better on that color. And I also like to have some contrast. So if you have the watch in the backpack, it's also easier to find it. And that comes also for the color of the cap, which especially running with a cap in summer when it's very hot, it's better to have on a white color so it reflects more the sun. So it's inspired on the mountains around and these two sides of the mountains that it's light and darkness at the same time.
I love that contrast right there between the snow and then the dark mountains. We're going to move over to some of the training data in the COROS training hub because the watch is just one part of the ecosystem. There's an entire digital training hub behind here. Yes, there is a time and place for analog writing down some of your thoughts about your training, but having digital access to all of that data is super powerful as well. You can, for example, look at your training load, at your fatigue levels, your fitness levels. How have you been building up over time? Some of your race predictions over there. So a lot of COROS users actually might not realize that this opportunity for all this data access is available. So you can find this at training.coros.com. We're going to pull up a few different screenshots over here from Kilian's training, and then we're going to talk through this. So first up, over here, we're going to see a screenshot of the training load. And as we begin to look into your training, Kilian, one thing that jump out right away, that in right now, January 2023, your base fitness level is actually higher than it was in August 2022, right before UTMB. Can you talk a little bit more about how you used this base fitness level for your actual training throughout the year?
Yes, so the base fitness is actually a very useful tool. I like to look at that, especially when you are building the base of the season. It shows very well how your aerobic base is at the moment, how the training load is working on. And yeah, right now I can see that I have been working very well for the last months. So I have been able to accumulate a lot of good training sessions and especially to recover well from them. So that shows in the base fitness that it's higher than before routine B, where I was in good shape, but it was on the end of the season. So my recovery at that point, it was not as good as now. So it's something that it's very interesting to look, not to see exactly how shape, like the finesse of the shape, not there, but how your shape, your fitness is going. So then you know if you are coping well with the recovery and with the load. And if you see that you are training a lot, but your fitness level is going down, it might mean that you are not recovering enough. So it's a very useful tool to see how the season it's building. If you are coping well with the training. And right now I'm happy because it seems that it's working well. So looking forward for the next year with this base fitness that I have right now.
That is really promising for your 2023 race season and expedition season there too. So with your base fitness being the training load over a 42-day period, can you guide us a little bit more? How are you still able to get quite some training load up there, even though the weather conditions at the moment are quite bad in Norway?
Yeah, the weather, it's been pretty rough this month. So it's basically trying to have some key sessions every week where I want to focus on some more special things, especially to do like 2 long and a bit more intense sessions on skis. I try to do most of my training out on skis, and then when it's very bad weather or on the afternoons, I train on the treadmill for the running. So it's all about like maintaining this balance between recovery and the training, but trying to put long days on skis and then some short sessions in the treadmill for the running especially.
There you go. So with so much of your energy going towards the ski touring, can you give us a breakdown of some of your workouts that you're doing there, like intensity-wise, duration-wise? Would love to hear more from you.
Yes, so actually here you can see one of what I call these long progressive sessions, which it's basically to build like a bit the fatigue through the session and then to do the workout, the specific workout at the end of the session when you have been doing like 4 hours of accumulating fatigue. So basically what it is like to start on easy pace and do one first uphill that it can be like 1,000 meters at zone 1. So you are with the jacket, you can breathe with the nose or talk with the friends. Then second uphill, it's on zone 2. So then you take off the jacket, like you are like focusing a bit more, like keeping a good pace. Third uphill, it will be like on the higher zone 2. So here you start to feel a bit of fatigue. And then the last 1 or 2 uphills, they are on zone 3. That is like what we can call tempo. So here is kind of giving like just under race pace. And that's because like during all these first uphills at lower zones, you are building fatigue. And then like that's because in races, normally in the key moment, it's never at the start of the race. It's often at the last part of the race where you need to be fresh, where you need to attack, where you need to really push yourself. And at that point, you are never fresh. So mainly we train always when we are fresh, but in the races, when we need to work well, we are not fresh. So this session is trying to simulate this same situation. And I believe that it was pretty well.
Training on tired legs, that will definitely come in handy on race day there. Let's have a look at the next graphic over here. And this is the threshold heart rate zone distribution. And what we see is the breakdown in the 5 different zones. What stands out right away, there's a lot of low heart rate training, relative low heart rate. Zone 1, zone 2 making up about 80% here, with 15% in zone 3, and then only about 5% in zone 4 and zone 5. Kilian, can you talk a little bit more about your running specific focus and how you integrate some of this and with the different zones towards your running performance?
Yeah, then all it goes to what you are able to sustain and to be able to sustain this training load. So if you want to do a lot of volume, a lot of hours, especially working for the long events, but also like to build a very good aerobic base, which will be the base for building on top of that, like the VO2 max or the threshold power, you need to have a big aerobic base, and that's basically like zone 1 and zone 2. So it's important to do some specific work at like the race pace, like zone 3, zone 4, or even like some zone 5 for some stimuli. But to be able to cope with all that and to be able to create the base to sustain this intensity, it's very important to do the zone 1 and zone 2 work all year through, but especially in the periods right now in the winter if you are a trail runner.
Absolutely. That base is so important to be able to start stacking higher intensity on top of. Let's take a look at some of you measure actual progress throughout your training as well. I heard something about a test on a Sunday that you do. Tell us more about your progress test.
Yes, actually on Sunday, also because we have the girls home, so it's a day that we have very little amount of time to train. What I do is it's a threshold training. I do it in the treadmill, and I use it also to measure a lot of different data, so I can see how I'm adapting to the training that I'm doing week after week. And it's a good base to know if I'm coping well, if I'm getting the adaptations I want. So here you can see that I start with a warm-up, a classical warm-up of like 20 minutes. Then I stop a bit to do some tests like lactate. And then I start the 30 minutes threshold session, where I start at like flat, 0% of inclination, and then 5 minutes like that, 5 minutes at 5%, then at 10%, 15%, 20 and 25%, and decreasing the speed. So I keep the same kind of effort, but I'm changing kind of the how the muscles work, how the metabolism work, and I do all that measuring different things that goes from the heart rate to the cadence to the pace to the body temperature and other things like the blood saturation or the lactate. So then I can see if the training I'm doing is really like adapting where I want to adapt, or if I need to focus more on some other aspects for improving.
That's a lot of data in one graph right there. That's very useful. Let's talk about effort pace for a little bit, because I understand that you have helped develop that with the COROS team. Can you tell us more about the effort pace and what the thought process behind this?
Yeah, so it's fun actually that when we started like collaborating with COROS, it was something that I had in mind, and Lewis and the team, they had it too. And it's because when you train like for cycling, you often use power because it's right in the pedal, so you can measure the power right there. When you are running on roads, you can use the pace because it's like very precise for everybody. Like you know your pace that you need to do in the race, and you can relate to that on the training. But when you run on the mountains, it changes a lot. It changes on the incline, it changes on the conditions, and you can rely on the gradient adapted pace. But it's not very precise because that's only like an average of population, and for someone that is more adapted to steep inclines like me, it will make that it will feel that when I'm doing a very steep section, I'm going much easier than I will go on the flat. So everyone have different adaptations, and for me, maybe my adapted pace when it's steeper, it will be feeling easier than to someone that it's more like a marathon runner. So what COROS developed, and it's amazing, is that it's the algorithm is taking your data from all your training and adapting this adapted pace, not only to the gradient, but to your conditions, to how you are as a runner. So it really shares a very direct input to training. So it's not about having a pace to say I'm running the same as at 3 minutes per kilometer, for example, but it really gives you an individual pace for your training. which is just another level when it comes to training on the mountains.
That's a really powerful tool right there. And I like that example you mentioned earlier with the marathon runner versus someone who's more used to running in the mountains. I notice that too sometimes when I run on flat with a friend, I'm at the same effort level, but I'm more used to hills than he is. And all of a sudden we start seeing that change in that effort pace there too.
Yeah, this actually reminded me of the conversation I had with Kilian when we were just meeting in Norway. There are algorithms like great adjusted pace available on the market right now, but key thing is make it personalized. Like Kilian or even you, Floris, you're much better maybe mountain runner than I do. And then even if we're having the same pace, running together on the same course, the effort that we're inputting, that could be different.
And
it varies everybody.
And it's easier to understand as well. Like this is an actual effort pace that you can look at versus like power data or some other.
Yeah, that's another reason we introduced this, because eventually the course mission is we want to bring this training lifestyle to a broader audience. We want to get more people into this amazing lifestyle, but making it easy to use is step number one and probably the most important step.
Let's move over to the Kilian Jornet training camp, because there's an exciting opportunity to get coached by Coach Kilian. Lewis, please tell us more.
Yeah, sure. That could be the most important or exciting piece of this event. Working with a coach is probably the most efficient way you can improve your performance. But what if working with the best mountain athletes of all time, right? This Kilian is nice enough to offer the Kilian Jornet Edition watch owners an opportunity to be coached by him by a COROS training hub for 12 weeks. So this is the first time, well, first of all, this is limited to 25 athletes only. And it could be the first time, maybe the only time you can be coached by Kilian. Not only you have great experience from this 12 weeks, but I'm sure this concept, the training method that Kilian can teach us will help everybody to reshape the way you train for a lifetime. Like as a COROS employee, I'm restricted to apply for this, but otherwise I would love to be part of it as well.
Here you go. Not a COROS employee.
Oh, you are not. Go ahead and try to apply it. Apply for it. So the application will be available or is available on coros.com/camp. The deadline is February 17th. It'll be over 2 weeks from today. So make sure you order the watch, grab the watch ID, and then go to the application page to apply for this one of all time opportunities for yourself.
There you go. That's good. Kilian, can you elaborate a little bit more about the details of this program? How are you structuring it? How are you going about providing feedback for these athletes?
Yes, so as first of all, as Lewis mentioned, it's for everybody. Like it's not only for top athletes, but it's for everyone that wants to start running on the trails, to athletes that they want to perform the best. We will have individualized plans, so it's adapted to each of the runners' goals and level. And we will start like having some Zoom calls with all the participants, so I can explain a bit the philosophy and the methodology behind this training program. And from there, it will be very easy. Actually, all the athletes will log into the COROS Training Hub, and there every week I will be updating the training sessions and also like commenting on like different things that I can see on their training, or things that I might think that can be interesting to work on. Like it can be from nutrition to gear to strength to different stimuli to race preparation. So during these 12 weeks, we'll be talking not only about the physical training that they can find in the COROS Training Hub, but also like on all the other things that we can be working to prepare best for their goals. And also to mention that they will have a race kit also from normal, all the participants, so they can be best prepared, I think, with all the data in the watch, with the hopefully my inputs and my tips for the training, and also the kit for running.
What a great opportunity right there. And I really like how it's not just like them uploading the training data, but it's you providing your thoughts and like have an actual dialogue over there inside of the COROS training hub. Super awesome opportunity right there. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I want to recap and start closing things up over here. So high level recap. We've started out with Kilian's training of 2022 and his expeditions and things that he's planning for 23. We have talked about the strength of the COROS ecosystem with the COROS training solutions. We looked at the limited edition Kilian Jornet watch and the extra band and the hat. And then we looked at the training data with the different screenshots, ending with the opportunity to get coached by Kilian. But we still want to go back through to the audience and have a look at a few more questions that were submitted. So the first one over here is, what is one piece of advice that you would give to beginner runners looking to improve and get into this sport?
I would say to not obsess about the training, about the goals. And it's important to have goals to keep the motivation, but it's more important to keep fun and to keep the pleasure of it, because as I mentioned before, it's key to be consistent. It's not good to say, okay, I want to start running, and you do a lot for 1 week and then you are destroyed and then you need to restart again. No, what's important is if you can run 1 day every week and you are constant on that, if you can run like 2 days, 3 days, doesn't matter. It's just to be constant on the stimuli. That's what will make you first better, because you will be sustaining the training, but also it will create the routines and the habits that will make you more connected to the sport. And that comes from being happy there. And I think it's about keeping the passion, and that comes not to see training as an obligation, but something that you want to do. So to forget about that the goals as something that is very important, but just to do it because you like it. I think that's the most important, not only from beginners, but for everyone that wants to just enjoy sports.
That consistency in training, gradual progress over time will lead to big progress in combination with that joy. And it's awesome because that's exactly what Eliud Kipchoge said as well. Have fun out there on your runs, and you will end up doing it day in, day out at that point, just gradually over time. Another question here is, what is your favorite place to train? Not to race, but to train, and why?
That's a hard one. I love mountains all around. Like it's hard, and I like to discover new places. But I would say I love to train from home. It's just so simple and so like natural to just leave the door and go explore the backyard and do long adventures from the house. And I love the mountains here in Romsdal. But another place that I love and I'm in love, it's the Himalayas. Like the big mountains and the magnitude of that, and the people and the possibilities that it's there, it's just incredible. So yeah, if I could choose only one or two, it would be home and the Himalayas.
There you go. That's quite a difference between sea level and Himalayas altitude. Has your sea level training affected you much in your high altitude approach to some of those expeditions?
Well, it takes some time to acclimatize, but I would say up to 4,000 meters, it's never like a problem. Like last year for Hard Rock, I didn't do any acclimatization before the race, and it went well. So I think over like 5,000, 6,000, yeah, I need to acclimatize, but that I think it takes the same time to just train here home, or like just you need to spend a bit more time when you go to expedition in the lower altitudes to be prepared.
Yeah. 2 more short questions over here. What has been your most important change in your training as you get older? Like when we're younger, we can get away with murder and we can like keep hammering out miles, but as we age, our bodies change as well. How are you approaching your training throughout the years like that?
That's a good question, actually, and I think it's mostly it's about the recovery, because the older you get, like the harder it is to recover. When you are young, like you can train like crazy and you will recover well. You can eat like crap and it will be okay. You can not sleep and it will recover well. But the older you get, you need to focus more on that. So like focusing on some things like it can be the mood when you wake up in the morning, the HRV that you can measure with the COROS, the feeling when you start training, to take all that into account for knowing that you are recovering well. And then I would say like just focus on having this training load on good balance, that you are able to sustain it. And that changes actually when you get older, because you need to focus probably more on the recovery than on the training itself.
Yeah, spot on. What about recovery tools? Do you have any thoughts over there, like as far as for tools or nutrition that you would like to share a high level here?
Yeah, I saw actually a couple of months ago a diagram in Twitter that was excellent, because it showed like what's the most beneficial for recovery and what's like the biggest cost. And you realize that what's the most beneficial, it's almost free, because that's like sleep, the training load, like to have a controlled training load, the nutrition, what you eat, and to eat as much calories as you so in and out, so to eat all that you burn. And then the stress, so like to think about stress from, as I mentioned, like family, work, or all other, when you count into the training. So just focus on these things. The rest, it's accessory. It will be like you will gain a bit maybe, but just focus on the sleep, on good quality food, a lot of variation on the food, like to eat a lot of different elements, as much natural as possible, to have a quality of minerals or vitamins, and then just try to find some, just be in good mood and not on a stress environment will be, the three key things for recovering.
So well said right there. Sleep, nutrition, recovery, stress levels under control. Kilian, thanks so much for sharing that. Lewis, do you have anything else in closing that you would like to share?
Oh, I have been enjoying the conversation between you and Kilian. I learned so much as well. Great. So I don't know if I mentioned a little bit earlier, this watch, the KJ watch box, is completely made by paper, so there's no plastic being used, which shows our value of going through sustainability. It's the same value proposition with Kilian as well as Normal, our friends over there. And I would like to take this chance just to say thank you one more time for this amazing community. It's been very fun to be one of the passionate athletes and met in one of the communities to create products for those that share the same dream with us. It's very grateful to have it. And then COROS will dedicate to produce better and more products which help athletes to achieve their performance goals. And then can't wait to bring you something more down the line this year.
Absolutely. We're going to finish off by showing a video of some beautiful trail running footage of Kilian in the mountains. Kilian, thank you so much for tuning in here today. We appreciate you. Everyone else watching, thank you so much. And the watch is available now. Get it before it sells out. Have a good one, everyone.